Welcome everyone to Dean Cant's opening address. We welcome all of you watching us on Instagram. Dean Cant will be taking questions live. So after his presentation is complete, please feel free to ask your questions, and we will be asking those questions as the presentation is concluded.
Welcome everyone to our 2018-19 academic year. I'm going to take this opportunity to tell you a little bit about what's happening at the Feliciano School of Business at Montclair State. This actually is the beginning of my fourth year. I've had a great run here. It's tremendously exciting things. And over the last 3 years, in fact, we've had substantial growth in student numbers. When I looked at our numbers today, we have about 2,900 undergraduate students, about 700 graduate students, which is a 5% increase in the number of students that we had last year, and by far the largest class in our history. It's worth remembering that in 2012, we had 1,400 undergraduate students and 320 graduate students. In other words, less than what we have at the beginning of this academic year. Each year since I've been here, we've been fortunate enough to be able to recruit excellent faculty and staff. And while we had a couple of retirements this last year, we were able to bring on 6 new tenure-track faculty and 2 new instructors. Those faculty bring expertise in areas such as we have 2 new data analytics faculty, we have a new full professor in entrepreneurship, we have an assistant professor in strategy, and an assistant professor in marketing analytics. And one of our instructional specialists is a national leader in sustainability and green building design. With the new staff and faculty, we now have over 100 full-time faculty and 36 full-time staff. Also, we're introducing a number of new programs this year. One of the most notable is our accelerated Full-Time Mba, which allows students to complete the whole MBA program over a 12-month period. While we just launched that a couple of days ago, we already have over 20 students in that initial cohort. This idea of a 1-year MBA is allowing us to link with other programs at the university, particularly in the sciences, in the humanities and the liberal arts, to create what we're calling a 4+1. And under the 4+1 program, students will complete their full undergraduate degree in an area such as biology, chemistry, psychology, etc. And during their senior year, they'll have an opportunity to begin their graduate studies in the business school and complete their MBA by the end of that 5-year period. We see this as immensely attractive in the broader business environment to have a tremendous undergraduate degree in an area from Montclair coupled with our fantastic MBA. We continue to develop our graduate certificate programs in areas ranging from professional sales, digital marketing, data analytics to forensic accounting. We're also very pleased to launch our Student Managed Investment Fund with students making investment decisions across the spectrum of asset classes. Supported by a team of finance experts, students will gain deep appreciation of capital markets and the operations of the finance industry. We continue to expand our international partnerships with new relationships of universities in India and in China. And over the coming years, we expect to see substantial growth in the number of international students who will be joining the Feliciano School of Business community. One of our very exciting new international opportunities is what's called a 1+1 graduate program. In this program, students spend their first year in an Australian institution, the University of Newcastle in New South Wales, and complete their MBA. And in the second year, they come to the US and they complete their MS in data analytics here at the Feliciano School of Business. Essentially, it's 2 graduate degrees, 2 countries in 2 years. Again, unique in the marketplace, and we've already got a strong interest from international students in that program. Throughout the year, we will continue to offer a great array of special events and opportunities that feature key decision makers from the business community. I want to give you one quick example of the kind of things that are happening. So in a couple of weeks' time, in fact on September 26th, we'll have a panel discussion that's exploring the critical issue of affordable housing. One of the key members of that panel is Irv Dennis, who is the CFO of HUD. And you should be familiar with HUD, as they are the federal agency that distributes billions of dollars to support housing affordability across the US. Irv is a MSU graduate in accounting and a member of our advisory board. One last thing I want to note is some very important news received by all of MSU in the last couple of days. You may be familiar with university rankings, and there's a series of national and international rankings. One of the most influential is the US News College Ranking. And in the most recent results that came out within the last couple of days, MSU was ranked 90th amongst public universities in the US. Now, in a country that has 50 states, being ranked 90th is an amazing result, and it means that there are a large number of nationally recognised, well-regarded public institutions, including land-grant institutions, that are ranked lower than Montclair State. So that's a fantastic recognition, essentially, of the impact of an MSU degree. One of the things that changed in the rankings this year, as opposed to other years, is US News is now developed a formula that really looks at the impact that we've had on student experience. The more that occurs as a result of coming to Montclair State, and in our particular case, the Feliciano School of Business, the higher the ranking. So congratulations to everyone associated with Montclair, and it really is an indication of the ever-increasing brand recognition and reach of the university and the business school.
So for those of you who just joined us, at this portion of the presentation, Dean Cant will take your questions live. So feel free to type in your questions and we'll ask these questions live.
I think my mum has just got through, and yes, I have remembered that I'm phoning you this evening. So my apologies, it's been a couple of days. That's the great thing about live. People from around the world can watch you, as you might have guessed from my accent. Members of my family actually live on the other side of the planet. So among other things, it's very early in the morning if they're actually watching me.
Okay, we have our first question. Okay, what have you developed at the School of Business that you're most proud of so far?
The things that we developed that I'm most proud of. So everything that we develop at the School of Business is a collaboration. So we actually have a tremendous team. So the faculty, the staff, everyone who participates in this great endeavour, the things we do together. So some of the most exciting things personally for me are really about opportunities we give for students. So the expansion of our graduate program. So I mentioned before that back in 2012 we had a little over 300 graduate students. We now have 700 graduate students. And that reflects a broadening of the range of options. So since 2012 we have an MS in accounting, a 5-year accounting program. We have the MS in business analytics. We have a raft of new ways that we can deliver the MBA and graduate certificates. And what's so exciting about that is these are really addressing the real needs of our students, preparing them for meaningful careers, giving them the competencies they need. So as we develop those programs, as we continue to reshape what we do in the undergraduate environment, it really is essentially about the same equation. What can we do to ensure that if you get an educational experience from Montclair State, it's going to be preparing you for what is required for successful careers. That's what excites me every day. It's why I get up in the morning raring to go.
Okay, we have another question. What other new programs are in store for the school in the upcoming 5 years?
So one of the very exciting programs that we'll be launching next year, and I probably don't need to explain all the details here, but we have a fairly slow approval process in higher ed. We've been working on this for a couple of years. Is a new program we're doing with the College of Humanities and Social Sciences. And essentially the degree, which is a Bachelor of Arts degree, is in language, business and culture. And what we've done is we've worked with the key language faculty in their departments in another college from ours, and we've created a combined degree that gives you a good sense of the business environment, the key issues that are involved in business, but also a deep appreciation of language skills and then the culture around language that helps you to function in a global environment. We see this as a very attractive option to students who want to pursue both global opportunities, but also acknowledge that if you're going to spend your whole life living in New Jersey, it's still very important for you to work with people from a different cultural setting. Language skills are very important. So that's a brand new degree that will be beginning the next academic year. There'll also be a raft of new possibilities in the graduate space. What's happening with graduate education is why the MBA is still key to what we do. What's going to be happening is we're having more specialised sub-areas. So the kind of graduate certificates, the add-on elements. I think what we're going to see at a graduate education going forward is it's about key competencies. So one of them which we have launched is digital marketing. And there'll be more along that kind of line. A discrete area, not a lot of credits, but enough to give you a deep appreciation of something you can apply directly and immediately into your career. So that's going to be what's exciting going forward. We will continue to offer hands-on experiences, real-world problem solving. The Student Management Investment Fund, which we've just begun literally a week ago, I see as great opportunities going forward with what we can do as students actually get to spend real money on making those decisions as we roll that out to a bigger and bigger group.
Okay, we have another question. I'm a current online MBA student. Any strategic plans on offering further programs related to entrepreneurship and data analytics?
That's a good question, and congratulations. It's you're part of the. We've been doing in the online MBA. We've been at this now for a little less than 2 years. So in fact, our first group of graduating students will be finishing in the next month or two. And it's been a tremendous boost to what we do. In fact, there's about 200 students in our online MBA. And first of all, one of the things that we did generally, as you'll be aware for our MBA, is essentially the model is a core MBA, which is the center of understanding of the business environment, the key skills. But there's an opportunity to dig down deeper in discrete areas. And over this next little while, one of the biggest investments we're doing is making sure that those areas we have them available for online, whether it is things in the marketing space, in project management, in human resources. We're going to have add-ons that'll be available for both the online MBA students and we think in different formats. In terms of entrepreneurship and innovation, you may be familiar with our very successful Entrepreneurship Center. And in fact, we started that about 5 years ago. Just within the last couple of days, I announced that our inaugural director of that, Dennis Bone, it's his inspiration that drove this forward. Dennis is eventually deciding that after retiring from Verizon, he's going to step away a little bit from that leadership role, become an executive in residence for us. Why I mention that is that we're at the next stage of our development as an entrepreneurship program and the related curriculum. So at the moment, our curriculum focus for entrepreneurship has been at an undergraduate level. We've expanded out from a class to a certificate to a whole specialisation. And over the next couple of years, we will certainly be adding in things around innovation, design, different ways of understanding the business development process and be offering them in both a face-to-face and an online environment.
Our next question is, you mentioned the Student Investment Fund. Where can one find more information about it?
So the easiest thing to do is, I think we have things on the website. My apologies if it's not clear. You can contact directly the department. So the Department of Accounting and Finance is the one who's running that. This first semester, given this is the first time we've done it, we have a smallish group that is beta testing what we're doing. But over the coming years, there's going to be opportunities to participate in a class. If the demand is large enough, we'll have more classes. But the class takes students all the way through the process, including investment. So there will be investing. We have an initial fund of about $250,000, which for you and I seems like a lot. In the investment world, that's a small amount. But what it is doing is it's really giving a sense of what it takes to understand all those asset classes. This is fixed assets, it's all the assets you need to understand. And by going through the process of making a decision, a recommendation, and ultimately, purchasing whatever it is that we're investing in, provides students hands-on opportunity. So first thing, if you're around on campus, go to see the department, find out what the offerings are. There will continue to be classes in this area, and we expect it to grow exponentially.
Our next question is, will there be any changes to the Feliciano School of Business building?
Our building is now, actually, the very first day I started was the day we opened the building, so that's 3 years ago. We actually have made some modifications. It is a brand new building. It's a beautiful building. We took a wall down between two classrooms so we can open it up and become a mega classroom. I think it's on maybe the 4th floor. We've made some changes over summer to what we've called the grad lounge. When you come in the front door, there's a room directly above that, has lovely windows on both sides. That's actually got technology in that space now, and we are going to use that in different ways than when it didn't have technology. We continue to look to how to maximize the utility of every space in our building. You would notice that there was a number of years ago, there was lots of computer labs was the standard model. Nowadays there is some laboratory space, but with mobile capacities, there's less need for traditional computer labs. We've repurposed some spaces. We have, within our building now, we have a spot where we produce the videos and collateral that we use in online education, so we do that here. We even have some spaces where students can actually produce their own material. I think it's called one button studio, and it's in a room that allows students to go in there by themselves or in a small group and actually produce fairly high quality production themselves. So that tends to be changing the use of a particular room. If you've been here for a few years, you'll know that we moved the Entrepreneurship Center down to the lowest floor. We've expanded that out. Please make sure you go and have a look down. They've got new painting. They've done a whole lot of things in that space. But the core use of the building, the teaching spaces, the academic offices, etc., they're in place and they're going to stay. The one thing that you will notice if you've been in our building, the president, the very important CEO of our organisation, she is sharing our facilities for the next year and a half as the building that she'll reside in, which is College Hall, is completed. That was our first building in the university, one of the last buildings to be updated. So the president is living with us for a little while. In fact, where I'm sitting, you can't see this, but not that far in that direction is where the president is. We're very happy to have her here. But with this growth I mentioned at the beginning, our faculty offices are full, our classes are full day and evening.
Our next question, Dean, I would love to know about a mentorship program for the business school students.
So we do have actually a number of mentorship programs. We've got one which in fact, the second year launch is this evening. We're calling it the Accelerator Program. You can ask folk in your departments if you're not involved and would like to, they can point you in the right direction for possibilities there. That's actually a comprehensive program. There is about 30 students in it at the moment that pairs them individually with a mentor and a raft of activities around it. This is the second year we've been doing that, and our goal is not just to have 30 or 40 students, but to see if we can expand it out. In other words, how can we offer this same opportunity to more students? Essentially, though, we do believe deeply in the power of a mentor. Some departments actually have mentor programs. Certainly, if I were you, I would find the professor that you have that strongest relationship and see them as someone who can mentor and support your career. Overall, people who've had a good mentoring relationship find that it cements their career together. It's the kind of thing where someone can bounce ideas off, help place you with opportunities. I'll give you one quick example of that. We have two folk here who are executive in residence, Michelle Arnsbacher and Jim Murley, both grads of Montclair in the business school, both had incredible business careers. Jim Murley, who worked in the finance industry, was central to establishing the Student Managed Investment Fund. It's been a key thing he's done for us. He's also taken a number of young people under his wing who are interested in opportunities in the finance industry. And last week he sent me an email he'd received from a young person who got an opportunity for an internship with a major financial institution in New York City and now has been offered a job. Now that came out because Jim was in a position to give them advice, make a quick phone call on their behalf. So finding someone who can give you direction, point you where you need to go is critical, and we have lots of people in the Feliciano School of Business who are happy to do that for you.
Our next question is, how can new students become involved with the Feliciano School of Business?
One of the most important things to do for any student is start with the student clubs. So one of the things that's great about an institution like ours is how many other students are in the same category as you. So each of the disciplines, so the marketing, accounting, etc., they actually have student clubs that are run and managed by students. There are faculty involved who support the clubs, but these are student-run clubs. So an example is the Accounting Society is actually a really strong club. It has a large membership, it has a lot of alumni who come back and support it, it has regular events on. It really goes out of its way to help you understand what it is to be a professional accountant. But equally, there's new clubs and business analytics, for example. They have a somewhat new club. There's an economics club. There really is going to be some club that suits your discipline interest, and there's even clubs that have, for example, a focus on service learning. So one way or another, you'll find a place with students who've got a passion and interest of you, a chance for you to build yourself into leadership and demonstrate that leadership with other students. Plus, you need to find ways to volunteer. So whether it is at events, activities, make sure you're a student who puts your hand up. I've always found that volunteering, for whatever it happens to be, is an essential way that the professors get to know you, the staff gets to know you, and of course the students who will become colleagues of yours in the future get to know who you are and what you bring to the table.
So we'd like to thank all of you who joined us at today's session. We'd like to thank Dean Cant. Also remind you, tomorrow, 1 o'clock, we have our Feliciano Live, which will talk about retail and if it's really dead. And one of our faculty members, Manveer Mann, will be speaking on that topic. So until then, we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks very much.
Oh. Okay, thank you.